Gasoline Alley.
Welcome back. We're on Ananian, the car doctor, down here in Gasoline Alley. You know, our next guest, he's been here before. He's Joe Morrison from Flemington, New Jersey. He's the owner and driver of the MPG Racing Cojones Energy Shots 1948 Nostalgia Fiat Altered. And while Joe is an active racer out on the road most months out of the year, he's also somebody that gives back to the environment he's created and he's part of by his work to raise the awareness for the COPD Foundation. And we thought it would be appropriate as we kick off the racing season for everybody out there to sort of hear a story that's not just about cars, but how the use of cars has helped create and generate some interest and revenue for a problem that's facing us in society, COPD. And here to talk about it is Joe Morrison. Joe, welcome back to the Car Doctor, sir. Glad to have you.
Hey, Ron, thanks for having me on. I greatly appreciate it, especially the opportunity to raise awareness for the DRIVE4COPD Health Initiative and the COPD Foundation. Thank you.
COPD, Joe, what is it for everybody out there that wants to know?
Well, what it stands for is chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, and it's actually an umbrella term that covers a number of breathing-related illnesses. Among them would be a chronic bronchitis, also emphysema. The thing about COPD is it's a progressive disease, and once it damages your lungs, the damage is irreversible, which is why our Drive for COPD campaign is so important. There are actually 24 million Americans living with COPD, and 12 million of them, up to half, don't even know they have it. So what's so important about this drive is to find those people and get them early diagnosis so that they can get treatment to live a better quality of life and a longer life.
You know, Joe, as the driver of a race car, as you are, and, you know, you're out on the road, this isn't, you know, did you stumble across this? Was there a personal involvement here? How did this come to be in Joe Morrison's life?
Well, Ron, you hit the nail on the head. It's very personal to me. Both my dad and my mother-in-law have COPD. And when we saw early on Danica Patrick, former IndyCar driver and NASCAR driver, started doing her public service announcements about the drive for COPD, my dad and I knew that this was the right thing to do with our car. We do have a unique car, and I feel very fortunate that we have the opportunity to reach a good number of people. So we really wanted to raise awareness about this disease because, as I said, it really is personal to me.
This is actually COPD, the foundation and all that work, has generated interest in Congress, correct? H.R. 941, I believe, is the bill?
That's absolutely correct. The COPD Foundation, besides the fact that they really are fantastic people, they're doing great work on a number of fronts. They bring the medical community together with the pharmaceutical community as well as patients, and with the input from all three of those very interested parties, that's where this H.R. 941 comes from. What it is a bill that would allow respiratory therapists to work with patients, but not necessarily under the direct supervision of a doctor on site. It allows for better care and lowering costs, and that's what that was. And I was down in Washington, D.C. a couple of weeks ago with the foundation on their lobby day, and I had the good fortune of meeting with a number of legislative assistants and my congressman, who happens to be Leonard Lance.
Part of the 2012 fundraising campaign, Joe, was just held, I think, this week, the NASCAR Drive for COPD Pro-Am Challenge out in Fontana, California. Am I correct in that? I think those were the facts that I had read.
That's absolutely correct. In fact, the guy from Flemington has to fly to California to talk to you on the air. I'm actually at Auto Club Speedway as we speak. Last night, a number of celebrities and other folks were fortunate enough to go to the Rusty Wallace Racing School in the morning, and then we participated in the Drive for COPD Pro-Am Challenge last night. So I got to get behind the wheel of a stock car and go around this awesome 2-mile tri-oval here in California.
Now, Joe, I've got to ask you, as a drag racer, how does that affect you? Now you get in a car that can make a left turn. That's got to be a different gig, right?
Completely different, and a lot of fun. The folks at the school were great, and the celebrities that came were really fantastic, and I'm so glad that they are now a little better educated into what COPD is and how they can help spread the word.
Now, Joe, your work isn't going to end with the NASCAR DRIVE4COPD Pro-Am Challenge. You're going to continue this as you campaign the car, your 48 Fiat, throughout the rest of the year, correct?
Absolutely. As a matter of fact, we have a fundraising campaign going on this year through my primary sponsor, which is a company called Cojones Energy Shots. We have a fundraising campaign, and in addition to that, Cojones Energy Shots is going to be donating 10% of retail sales to the COPD Foundation this year. I was really happy. They're a great company, and I'm proud to be associated with a company that'll step up like that and give back.
You know, Joe, in terms of being teamed up with, my spies also tell me that you're also teamed up with another car doctor favorite, Fast Jack Beckman, an HRA Fuel Funny Car superstar, and we're due to have Jack back here shortly as well. You and Jack are working together on COPD.
Yeah, Jack helps me out when he can. His priority really is the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, but Jack has been very kind to help me out with the DRIVE4COPD campaign. So yeah, he's a great guy, and I will certainly be listening to the Car Doctor as always, especially when Jack is on too.
Yeah, Jack's always a good guy. Hey, where do you go after this? What's the next race coming up for you before we let you go?
Well, we have a couple of things going on actually. Out in Pennsylvania at a restaurant called Blondie's, we're going to have a fundraiser, called their Sunday Fun Day Car Show, and we'll have our car out on display there, and they're going to be raising funds, doing raffles and raffling off a flat screen TV. And my NASCAR contact here tells me we might have a few hot passes for Pocono to raffle off.
Always a good time.
The NITO schedule, which is the nostalgia group we race with, our first race is actually at good old Island Dragway up in Great Meadows, New Jersey on May 6th. And then from there, we're going to, our schedule will be out. If folks want to check it out, they can do two things. Number one, I'd ask people to go to cojonesenergy.com and scroll down on the right, and there's a Donate Today button.
Gotcha.
If folks want to donate to the COPD Foundation, that'll send you right to our first giving page, and 100% of those donations go directly to the COPD Foundation. We're trying to raise $50,000 so that we can reach more people and get people screened. That's really what it's all about.
Right.
So cojonesenergy.com, and down on the right side, you'll see my yellow Fiat Altered. You can't miss it, and there's a donate button right down there. If we could get folks to donate, that would be fantastic.
And as a matter of fact, let me point out, it's probably one of the few times they'll see the car standing still, because every time I've seen that car, it's a blur going down the track. But it's a good shot and a good picture. And the other way they can get a hold of you, Joe?
They could also go to our team page, which is mpgracing.com, and our schedule is up there, and they could check it out. We're about to roll out a new website, so the old one is still up, but it's certainly usable, and the schedule's up there, and folks can see where we're going to be. We're all over New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, between May through October for our championship drive, and we're hoping to defend our championship. We won last year. Actually, we had a great season last year, and won our last 3 races in a row. And we're looking to start off, 2012 on the same path we ended 2011 on.
Cool beans, Joe. As always, sir, a pleasure to have you. And anything we can do here at the Car Doctor to support you guys, we're here for you. And we'll see you around the racetrack, kiddo.
Thank you very much, Ron. I really appreciate it.
Not a problem. Anytime, pal. I'm Ron Ananian, the Car Doctor. We'll be back to take your calls right after this.
Little GTO.